All
He's
right.
gonna get like
We
taken
are
down
live.
for illegally streaming baseball.
Okay, everyone, we are live. Thank you guys for coming to my Keycap designer roundtable, our little talk show today. You guys already know who I am, but hi, my name is Phoebe. I designed EPPT Superstar, and I have gathered my more talented friends here for us to talk about the Keycap design process, color matching drama, recent events, wink, wink, nod, nod. But I'm gonna start with introductions, and we're gonna let everyone else give their own intro. So we can go Andrew, Bub, Ty, and V. So you guys take it away.
Okay, going first. I am Andromache, or Andro, or my real name is Liz. I've designed GMK Orange Boy with Ty, who is also here. SA Fledgling, Nice PBT Vasilisa, and Nice PBT Sleepy Time.
I guess I get next.
Sorry if I was supposed to say anything else.
That's okay, Andrew. Hi, everybody. I'm Bub. I did GMK panels and Spellbook, and I have a set Novel Keys Flower Shop coming out in like a week or two, I think.
Hey, I'm Ty, aka Typo. I've done GMK Orange Boy with Andrew, EPPT Axolotls, Milky Way 2D Girlfriend, and Keycap's Esper. And a couple sets in interest check right now. And now everyone's favorite cultural appropriator can take it away.
Hello. My real name is Ivan, but you can call me Ivan, Vheissu, or my friends call me V. Yes, I steal my own culture and made GMK mid-clan. And that's the only set I made right now. I am publishing soon the interest check for GMK Phantom Run 2. But yeah, that's it.
Okay. We have a lot to talk about today, so I won't be showing everyone's sets on screen. But if you run the speakers command, you will be taken to a Notion page where I've captured a couple of images of everybody's sets. So if you guys are more of a visual person, feel free to check that out. That's available anytime of day. All right. Okay, so we can get into the meat and potatoes. I'd like to hear about everybody's, the first set that you designed. We have a lot of people who reached out, really interested in the Keycap design process. Specifically, how did you determine, which idea was the right idea to go to group buy with? And anyone can start.
I'll go first. Panels was my first set. I'll show everybody. You got it on my desk right now. Just shipped. On down.
Gorgeous.
Made it out of the queue.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Wow, it made it. How did I design panels? Did you ask that, Phoebe?
Yeah, just like the general process. Like, how did you decide? Like, I don't know if you had like multiple ideas before you took something to interest check, but like, how did you decide that panels was the one?
Panels was the first set that I actually ever made ever. I looked on Geekhack for a really long time before landing on a colorway, and I wanted to do something that was different. And at the time, it was unclear if Handerbite was ever going to run again. So I like Volkswagens a lot, and so I just started messing around in keyboard layout editor. That's how I made panels.
All right. What about you, Andrew?
Or
you can go next time.
So, yeah, I'm ready to get locked in there. The first set I ever designed was the absolute abomination that I just made in first KLE and that keyboard layout editor, and then Dakota Felder files. And it was based on the Maryland flag. And if anyone knows people from Maryland, we love our flag. And I posted it in Keycap Design Discord. Rest in peace. Posted in there and got absolutely flamed. And then I thought, not by Bo.
I didn't even know about that. I don't think.
Yeah. I'll show it to you.
Was it crab themed? You still have images? We can pull it up right now.
I want to
pull
see
it up.
No. It's deeply hidden, deep dark secret. It had one crab novelty. That's all it had, and it was like poorly extruded through the keycap and the render. Like it was so bad. So then I figured I should look around more, spend more time on Geekhack, just hang out in the in Discord, see what other people are making, and I started working on ePBT axolotls, which was Infinity axolotls for a long time.
Oh, I did not know that it.
And
I did not know that it was Infinity
yeah, there's a
axolotls.
lot of lore behind my first set. And I was also working on a desk mat with with TKC, and they ghosted me for a while, and I got pissed off, and that's why I became EPPT, which maybe was a blessing, maybe was a mistake, I don't know. But that went through a lot of revisions of just sharing it with friends. Does this look good? Does that look good? Practicing renders, doing different versions of novelties, and just talking it out with people. Some of the people in this call right now, until eventually I was happy with something, posted the interest check, and ran the group by. And the rest is a long 2-year history.
Yeah, I think. I guess between like Ty and Andrew, Ty, I think you're the most prolific. I think you've actually come up with the most sets, or I see the most sets.
Yeah, I pump out a lot of garbage. That's for sure.
Is it garbage though? Because the people keep buying.
It's not
They
garbage.
can't get enough of Typo
It gets
MK.
made. It gets made. I guess it's all right.
Not even Milky Way 2D girlfriend is garbage.
Not even Milky
When is
Way
R2?
2D girlfriend.
When is R2?
That's a good
I don't know about that.
Do it in GMK. GMK 2D girlfriend.
Would GMK do that actually, or do you think they would?
I hope they
refuse to
don't.
do it.
I really hope they don't.
They wouldn't do like the weed drawings for Zooted. So maybe they would.
There's
Yeah.
nothing inherently wrong with panties. I think everyone's got a little
That's
panty
true.
on
It's
right
not
now.
illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not illegal.
Yeah.
All right, Andrew, you can go next.
So I guess when I first getting into keycaps and all that, I really told myself like I'm not gonna get involved in trying to make or design anything. And clearly I failed at keeping that promise to myself. I was just like watching so SA Fledgling is inspired by the movie Lady Bird by Greta Gerwig. And I was just like watching the movie one day and I was struck by like the colors in the movie, and then I like just tried to research to find if there was anything similar out there, and there was nothing that was like too close. So it just sort of went from there.
How did you decide on your first keycap profile being SA?
Oh, I just really like SA.
That's a
And
good question.
SP is good in some ways. They have
Okay.
good communication. And I just didn't want to do GMK at the time, just because at that point there were like 10 or more GMK group buys a month. So I also tried to do SA to stand out. But also I just like the profile.
What's the latest on SA Fledgling?
SP is waiting on one of the colors to arrive, like the resin. They have 2 of the colors and they're waiting on one to arrive as of like last week. So hopefully production will start soon.
Is the color approved? They just need to order like the rest of it or whatever.
Yes,
Yes. Good.
exactly.
Well, that's
So.
exciting.
Yeah, I'm really hoping it will ship before September. So that way it's not a 2-year group buy. Just like come in just under 2
Nothing
years.
wrong with a 2-year group buy.
Was Axolotls a 2-year group buy?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I mean, there's
Superstar probably will be too. Like just EPBT things. All right, V, let's hear the origin story about your cultural appropriation.
How I steal my own culture. Damn, I don't even remember the true history on Mictlan. If I recall correctly, I was messing around with my friends and some of my closest friends in the Mexican Discord pop up the idea of making a set of Dia de Muertos, Day of the Dead. And we agree on making that pop up. I have like design background and so on. I really wanted to make something different, and Mictlan came alive, and that's it.
Oh. Wasn't it just gray alphas at the beginning?
At the beginning, yes, it was dark, CR mods, gray alphas, and only orange accents.
Oh
Then
my
I
gosh.
start iterating a lot because that was super similar to GMK Skeletor, if I recall correctly. No, it was not Skeletor. It's like this black and orange set, which is all as fuck that everyone know, but I don't remember the name. And then I came with the idea of having like alt alphas with the Papel Picado. Papel Picado originally was only like alt alphas extension.
Mm.
And then I showed that to Neflog, which is the creative director of Novel Keys, and he said, "Hey, why if we really mess around and made a full base kit on with all of these colors and the schools and so on?" So yeah, that's where Mictlan became two base kits base.
LV, you had that insider connection at Novel Keys already.
Yeah. Well, it was because I like private IC directly to Novel Keys.
Mhm.
I didn't publish the IC before having a vendor, so that's why I got some feedback from Netflix and so on.
That's actually pretty cool. I didn't have it as a discussion topic for today, but in terms of like, I think for me, when I was in the process of designing like my first interest check, right? Like I think we all kind of stressed about how do we find vendors, like how do we get vendors to actually sign on to our set. Maybe you kind of had an inside, well, I don't want to call it an inside scoop, but you kind of went about things a different way. I think most designers, a lot of new designers, they'll IC first, and then they'll use the results of their interest check to actually go hunt for vendors. And I guess for the rest of you, I'd like to hear more about your vendor search, especially for those of you who've ran multiple sets. How do you decide which vendors to work with?
Well, when you run EPBT axolotls and every vendor except for Kono says no, then you just ask Kono.
All right, easy.
Fledgling was not dissimilar to that process.
How did you guys start? Was Orange Boy your first Kaneki set then?
Yes.
Yeah.
For both
Yeah.
of you? I guess you probably
So,
knew
yeah,
Luke
so
was at that point.
Yeah, Orange was probably a more interesting topic there. By then, we'd been around the community and around the design side of the community a lot longer, and we had a much better feel of like who's a good vendor, who do customers like, who do other designers like, who doesn't try to scam designers. And we actually had like a tier list of these are A tier designers we want to work with, or I mean vendors we want to work with. Here's B tier vendors we want to work with, and thankfully Candy Keys was right up there at the top of the list, and they liked it and said yes.
Mm-hmm.
But that's definitely something to keep in mind if you were going to run a set, like not just who will run this, or everyone knows Novel Keys and they sell a lot of sets, but there's a lot of other good vendors out there, and you have to think like who runs this kind of stuff, who will be open to running it, who's going to communicate with us about it, help us out with it. So there's a lot of factors to pay attention to. Once people start saying no to your set and you have to start going down the list, maybe you should ask yourself, what can I change to make these vendors want it? Is this a set anyone's going to want? Or do I just want to take a risk and run it with maybe a less than ideal vendor who might have worse sales or worse communication or whatnot?
And either as we're learning, some vendors cannot be trusted. So yeah, it really sucks. As like, I guess none of us here ran sets with vendors who have. Well, no, Ty, you ran.
I ran a set with Mexico. So.
You did, but you also ran a set with Alpha Keys, right?
There's a couple other smaller ones, isn't there?
Just like, from the designer perspective, once a vendor decides to disappear, like there's nothing we can do.
Yeah, I've ran with Mexico, Alpha Keys, and Kanata Keys. So I've had three naughty vendors.
Trifecta.
3 naughty vendors.
Well, at least 2D girlfriend's like done
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah. We can get more into that once we get onto the Mexico topic.
Yeah.
But
Jihug Yami in the chat asks, has GMK opened up to allow other vendors to also run sets with them? I know during the pandemic they limited themselves only to working with vendors they had a previous relationship with. I'm pretty
yeah.
sure I saw like a post from GMK Andy a while ago that they'd started their intake process again.
Yeah, I think
You
I've
have to
heard of
apply.
vendors
sure.
getting approved in the past like year.
Who? There was one that went in. Wasn't a US boy.
Vala and Mexico were not approved as lead vendors for a long time.
Probably
I
is
don't know
too.
if they ever got a few approved. I think Vala might have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a little just more about like the behind the scenes of that. So when Vala and Mexico first got started during the pandemic, if you ran a set with them as the vendor, you actually had to pick another vendor. Usually, I think it was like My Keyboard or like an EU vendor who would actually be the main point of communication between the design, I guess, between the designer and GMK. So Mexico and Vala, I don't know if Vala ever got their approval to be the lead vendor, but that's just kind of how like that process worked. Even though they didn't have the, I guess, approval to be main vendor, right? Like they can still proxy for them. Zay the Banana asks, how did you guys pick manufacturers?
Mine's easy. I'll go first at least. I picked GMK because GMK is my favorite. I don't know. It's as simple as that. I like Cherry Profile. I like ABS, and so that's like why I went with GMK. Though I guess for my PBT sets, I went with the Novel Keys PBT because I had already started working with them at that point. But I don't know. I like a lot of the other PBTs. I don't really think. I think a lot of them have good models, and like PBT fans, pretty good. Even like ePBTs starting to like move again, and Cat, those two.
The hobby is healing.
Slowly.
A little bit.
V, how did you decide on GMK for Mitlon? Because that is so many colors, and like the novelties are like 6 different colors on there. How did you decide on GMK?
It was because of the same reasons as well.
And
So
just GMK
I was a big lurker before doing something for the hobby. So I don't call myself like an OG, but I start buying keyboards and consuming keyboards since 2017 to 2018. So I paid a lot of attention in successful group buys and not so successful group buys. And I already know that GMK probably was the only option that I have if I wanted to make really, really sure that my clan it was going to be successful as much as I want because of the complexity of the novelties and so on. If I recall correctly, I also considered ePBT, but reverse, yeah, dodge, bullet dodge. but since I want a black base key set, rebase dice up with black, I really don't like how that looks. So I want vibrant colors, really complex novelties. So at that time, GMK was only the option. I know that now Kikobo and I don't remember the other.
They might be able to do it.
Was Keycobo even around when you were developing Michelin?
No, I don't think so.
No. If I recall correctly, no.
I feel
But
like
yeah, that was my other option.
I feel like when Michelin came onto the scene, after that, everybody started taking crazy advantage of like the UV abilities on keycaps. Like I feel like after I saw Michelin XM, XX I don't know, XXM.
Exactly.
I
Yeah,
felt like
yeah.
he was going
Pretty much.
crazy with the multicolor novelties.
It's nice.
He used UV on the koi set before McClung.
I thought McClung was first.
No.
Okay.
And I mean, there's some
I-
more than even that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's the
have
cat,
like
a
inspirational sets.
pink cat set.
Yeah, that was one of my
Yeah.
Hasakura was one of my inspirations because I think they want the first that apply more than 2 colors
Yeah.
in the UV print.
Yeah.
And then Polybius was another of my inspirations. So yeah, Hasakura and Polybius are one of the inspirations I have.
Yeah. And back to the original question of how do you pick menus, since I didn't pick GMK just because they were cool. Way back when we thought ePBT was going to have short queue times, and everyone was hating on GMK for a little bit, and ePBT was the savior. My set didn't need any reverse dye sub, so I was like, it's perfect. I'm going to go with ePBT. And also, like, I was also thinking of Infinity before that, and then they had that big blow up of Apiary bashing them and all the creators saying like all these sets are poorly made from TKC and Infinity. So I thought ePBT was the answer. It took them a little longer than the 3 to 6 months that they quoted me, but that's
Yeah.
why I picked ePBT.
You got like bumped down in the queue, didn't you? It seemed like.
Yeah, their queue was in like nonsense order. They just made whatever they felt like. They wouldn't make me samples. They would change the colors of my samples like after I already approved them. Like that was a good time. And then Andrew and I picked GMK for Orange Boy because we didn't want to have to use any reverse dye sub. We really just wanted the GMK quality. And at the time, they were the only ones who could do UV well enough for the Orange Boy novelties because there's a lot of like small little details. And we were concerned about dye sub being able to hit those colors like double shot ABS can.
No way your pink would work.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would dye sub that bright pink well enough. Esper with Canon keys was kind of the same situation as Bub's PBT sets. I think a lot of PBTs, dye sub PBTs, dye sub PBT for the most part. And I just have a good relationship with Canon keys, so I ran that with them. And then right now we are working on Cat Floofy Boy, which is also double shot, uses modified versions of the GMK novelties with Creative because they've just completely revamped their factory. They have this really cool new technique where they double shot the key, the second shot is white, and then they dye sub the white. So you can get dye sub / like triple shot colors with just a double shot mold, which is pretty cool. So that's how we picked them for that.
Yeah, for Floofy Boy, we really struggled to find a manufacturer at first, just because the options for doing those novelties outside of GMK, and since Orange Boy was GMK, we really wanted to do Floofy Boy, something different. So finding a manufacturer other than GMK who could do the 2 different colors was kind of a struggle. Well, other than doing dye sub, but I don't think that colorway would work in dye sub. So,
and we see the Orange Boy and Floofy Boy inspirations. Will they be able to come on camera?
Do you have
There's one
samples?
in the background right now.
I see
Do you
someone
have
in the
the
background.
samples?
so he's not a Floofy Boy. He's the fat boy. The Orange Boy, I think, is upstairs taking a nap. But
Okay.
if he does come down here, I'll try to get him on
Okay.
camera.
I hope he shows up.
I do too.
I can get it.
Okay. All right. Drifting Bunny says, "Is it still worth making a cat set now?" And Young Man Keebs asks, "Do you feel like Creative
Let's
still
find
is a way
out.
to go to rebuild trust in the community?"
Look at this
It's
beautiful
great.
double shot.
Yeah, it's so nice. I think it's
I
worth
think-
making cat set. You did
I
that?
think Creative's coming back. I mean, I wouldn't have designed a set if I didn't do that, so maybe that's copium. But their communication is awesome. They made us samples without even an IC. They answer quickly. They send funny cat memes to us. So I'm giving them a chance.
Their
A lot of people like
Instagram's
the profile.
awesome right now, where like they take videos of all the manufacturing that they're doing like every day. Or they were
Yeah,
for
they're
a
gonna
while.
crank. They're gonna really crank up production. I think they just finished Super User, which I think is their biggest set. And one thing that was taking them so long is sorting, because people would run 60,000 different kits in Cat and Cam.
Oh my god, it's the orange boy
And now
himself.
they're putting an end. You can only run so many kits with them, or else they start like charging you money. So they're gonna eliminate that, having to sort 600,000 different kits. So hopefully, once they get through these big sets, they'll start cranking them out.
The kits suck for vendors too.
Are they changing the way, like the child kit model?
Yeah, so I think you get 3 or 4. Andrew probably knows because she did the kitting. You get a handful of kits that they just price normally, and then if you start trying to add more, they upcharge all the kits. So you really screw yourself if you try to run a whole bunch at once.
Yeah, which is kind of unfortunate, especially when you're trying to decide, you know, is it worth doing something like an alt mod kit or like an international kit or something that like you want to be able to offer people the option of, but you don't know if it's worth the extra price increases. So it really forces you to be a lot more thoughtful about your kitting, as opposed to just doing 30 different kits that cover everything, which is great for people who need those keys and are happy to have them, but you know, not very good for me manufacturing or like the vendor trying to deal with the logistics of all that.
How do you guys actually get helpful responses in your interest check forms?
No. People will ask for keys that are already there. People will be like, "Can you add step caps lock?" And it's like right there in the render. Like every single IC I've ever done, people ask for katakana and hiragana. Like, can you change the set to be like blue instead of orange? Like,
I think the statistics are helpful, but not the necessarily like the comments. I've read them for panels, but
yeah, I mean, it's nice to know if somebody wants a Hebe Keycap or, you know,
yeah,
those sorts of collabs or something like that. What level of interest there is in that kind of stuff, I guess.
Yeah, that's why I didn't do UK ISO for panels, is because there was like 20 people that replied to my interest check saying they wanted it, and I was like, sorry guys, can't do it.
Yeah,
it's like it's even less than that, I think.
It also depends of the questions that you ask, because if you ask the same generic question and, hey, are you interested in this or that, or do you want 40 support or ISO support, etc., well, you are going to receive the same feedback every time. I mean, I have experience of only one IC, but I received tons of feedback. If I recall correctly, it was like 1.7K
That's a lot.
response. Yeah,
That's a lot.
So
little flex.
There was a little flex, yes, indeed. But I received like insightful feedback in regards on, hey, maybe consider this for the novelties, or have you tried changing this color for papel picado, blah 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 blah. So yeah.
For me, the helpful feedback was seldom in the interest check forum. Usually, if something's really bad, your friends will tell you like that sucks, change it, or maybe not so nice or not so mean. They'll say it more nice, but and if you have like an egregious kitting error, someone will point it out. Probably Hallie, but
I wish Hallie could have been here today. That actually brings up a good point. So you mentioned, you know, your friends will point it out to you, right? So like I think Andrew, Bub, and Ty, we all came from the Keycap designer Discord, RIP. V, I don't know if you were in that Discord, but like for newer designers, right? Like trying to designed their first keycap set, right? Like what would you recommend? How would you recommend that they get involved in like the designer community? Like, it's not as easy as it was before, because the good thing about the keycap designer Discord, the original one, was that we were all kind of in one place, and now I feel like things are a bit more fragmented, which makes it a bit harder to
Thanks
get
a
off
lot.
the ground. What was that?
I said thanks a lot, Swishy.
Thanks,
Thanks for your
Swishy.
service.
I would say though that the new server that Spike made is probably a good place to start still.
Which one?
The new keycap designer Discord. I don't know how well advertised it is. I candidly don't go there that often, but it's still. I think that they're trying to do a good job at like rebuilding it, making sure people have resources, and it's a good place to like ask questions.
I would say
Yeah.
don't get involved in the designer community.
What? Don't get involved?
Just do. Yeah.
Don't do it.
Just do your own thing. Have faith in your design, and that's it. No, but that's a joke. I mean, it. Not a joke. I think the designer community is so fragmented right now, and that's with the context that I didn't live the old days and the KDD. It is so fragmented that it kind of democratizes the design, and that's not so good. So have faith on your design, and then ask for feedback, but 1 of 2, 3 people, and that's it.
Yeah.
Then show it to the public, and if they like it, they're gonna like it. If they don't, iterate. And
Yep, that's good advice. I think as long as you're getting some sort of feedback, that's really all you need. Somebody that's done a
Just
step
send it to
forward.
your mom. Ask if she likes it.
yeah,
Put
Wait,
an
if your
ad in
mom
your
doesn't
local
like it,
paper.
you probably shouldn't run it. That's probably a
Exactly.
valid checkpoint.
Ty, did you send 2D girlfriend to your mom?
I didn't.
Exposed.
My wife thinks it's funny.
I
That
think
counts for something.
what resources would you say are absolutely essential in designing your first keycap set?
If you don't already know how to render, get Keyboard Blender Kit. It like
Yeah.
speeds up your rendering process, so like it's worth the $60 or whatever it is now. It just makes it so much easier to conceptualize your things, render something, and share it to get more feedback. Even if I don't even use renders I make for any of my interest checks or like group eyes, but I still use Keyboard Render Kit all the time just so I can like actually look at what I'm designing. That's number 1. Number 2, you need RAL book or Pantone book because you need physical colors. That's the 2 big things.
Yeah. You really can't like skip on the books.
You need
the
these.
books.
And once you pick your colors, especially this is specifically for GMK, you like have to buy the plastic. If it's Pantone, you have to buy the plastic chips. Don't try to not buy the plastic chips, because you have to get the plastic chips and send them to GMK. And sometimes the plastic chips look different than the colors do in the books. So
Sometimes quite a bit different.
yeah. So you want to make sure that your renders are also matching the plastic chips. So I think that's just important to let people know, because I don't think it is super widely known. And since GMK is still probably the most popular manufacturer for first-time designers, get the chips ahead of time once you pick your colors.
They're pretty good at matching the rails to what's in the book. I think at least. But,
Yeah.
That's just GMK.
With
like
RAL,
everybody
it's
else who
not
wanna
an
use
issue.
Pantone. Yeah. I like RAL. I like RAL more than Pantone for keyboard design. There's certain colors, like the pastel book in Pantones, I really like.
The pastel book is like, let me see if I can pull it out. It's like the biggest
Biggest
waste of
scam.
money.
It's
That
tiny,
book
but the
was
colors are
it's
so
such a
good.
disappointment.
It's like
no,
8
I don't even
pages
think
and
the
it's like
colors are
$10.
You don't
that
like 'em?
good.
It comes in this box.
Like-
in this box.
The pastels are so limited, I think.
Isn't that what's Orange Boy? Orange Boy's from that, isn't it?
I don't think Orange Boy's pastel.
No, we ended up using a RAL, right?
Oh, I thought
Axolotls uses one of the pastels.
that's what it was.
And I actually had PB like take a picture of her pastel book with like a couple pages of the pink. This is like the first actual conversation I remember having with PB. She took a picture of her Pantone pastels book, so I would only have to buy the pages that have pink. So I only bought like 3 of the pages instead of the $90 book or whatever it was, and I like ripped those pages up and sent one to EBBT and then kept it for myself for the color I ended up using.
That's funny.
Voodoo Bear asks, is RAL over Pantone a spicy take or nah?
I don't think so. I mean, they are different standards, so
Yeah. I think Round does certain things better, and Pantone does certain things better. Like certain colors, like
Ral makes
Rail is definitely
better
better for
vibrant.
beige. Like
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
million beiges
Yeah.
and like cream colors in Rail that Pantone doesn't have.
Pantone's got like reds. I think if I remember, like a ton of reds and pinks and stuff that aren't really.
Yeah, Pantone has a ton of pinks.
There's some other ones too. Ral's got
GMK wants you to
weird-
use a RAL, so just start with a
Yeah.
RAL and make your life easier.
Ral's got like some really weird greens that I like a lot too. Like super light and super like neon MS.
All right. Any last words of advice that you have for someone who wants to run their first Keycap group buy?
Oh.
Don't.
Don't say that. I'll go.
I don't want
I'll
the
go.
competition.
I think we've solidifying like what we've already said. Get renders, get Pantone books or Rail books, and match to those. But then just give feedback. Ask any of us, DM any of us. Any of us would be happy to give feedback. Or anybody.
Bob, you're opening up your DMs to the public.
For a small fee.
My
fee.
consulting fee, yeah. There, I mean, if like one of the 70 people here makes a set, that's like awesome. I think you should do it. It is tough to run a set right now, though. I hope it gets better.
I will say something that not a lot of people talk about is it actually costs a fair bit of money to run like a Keycap set. If you do a lot of if you don't do your own renders, you have to outsource someone. If you're not talented at drawing like Ty, so you can't do your own novelties. But even just like the books themselves, right? It's like I think we've seen a lot of newer designers try to cut corners, especially when it comes to like actually owning their own color books. And it's just not something that it's not an area where you should try to cut corners. There is definitely a entry cost, I would say, into getting into Keycap design.
Yeah, I think it's like I probably spent like $300 on books at this point between Round Pantone.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Did you all get your books from Mexico?
I bought mine from
No.
Amazon because I needed them fast. I don't remember why, but I needed 2-day shipping, and so I don't like to buy stuff from Amazon too much, but I got them from there.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Well, I think this is a good segue. Bub, you mentioned that it's hard to run a Keycap group buy right now. How does it what is the experience like running a Keycap group buy in 2023 compared to previous years?
You can't post it on Reddit.
The audience on Reddit has changed a lot. Like, it's much harder to here's my cool thing that I designed, and have Reddit be excited about it.
So many people have been burned on group buys at this point. Even if they get their product in the end after like a 2-year wait, a lot of people are still they're not happy about having waited that long and all that. So people are hesitant to join group buys now, basically.
Though I would say, it's not impossible, for a first-time person to run a set with any dinner at this point. And the barrier is definitely higher, in 2019 when people would just take any set pretty much and buy extras for it.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to do a lot of your own marketing now. I think some people are really good at just getting a lot of engagement on Instagram, posting daily, posting like if they're doing cute little novelties, little drawings, and what's the mayonnaise DSA? There's like a mayonnaise keycap set that
Oh,
the
the
designer.
QP Mayo set.
Yeah, they just
Yeah,
post like cute stuff on
DSA.
Instagram every single day. And like if you don't already have a following, you don't always already have like a relationship with vendors, you kind of have to like, oh look, they're in the chat.
Oh, hi.
Hey,
Hi.
that's what you have to do. You have to like feed the algorithm. Because you really have to like market yourself. A lot of the vendors are not going to market for you at all. Some US vendors are a lot better than others. So just play into your strength. If you're doing something cute, do some little drawings, post on Instagram, try to get some cool renders. If, you're going for like a cool vibe, a retro vibe, whatever. Just try to market to your audience, I guess, at this point.
Definitely have to post a lot.
And I think, I mean, if you have a really good or interesting design or whatever, like it'll break through. Sets will still be successful if they're like good enough to be, basically, I think. Like we know Michelin kind of broke through at a time when group buys were starting to get canceled and everything. Just like when the market was starting to take a downturn, because it was a great set.
Oh yeah, when reminds me of the time when Prussian Blue got canceled.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm so sorry
He
about
killed
that.
Prussian Blue.
Yeah, I am so sorry about it because I really like that set, but hey, it was not my call.
I think it's gonna be back at some point. So.
I hope that.
I hope so too. I do think
Make
that
something good.
I think that we'll start to see like vendors like GMK is going to be running faster. It's going to be easier for a vendor to like do a 250 MOQ group buy, just like do it, get it done. They don't even have to buy a bunch of extras. And I'm optimistic that people will do that to get new sets done.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lull while the GMK queue clears out and the CAT queue clears
Right now,
out.
now, yeah.
Yeah.
And
But once
vendors
those
have a
are
lot of
done,
inventory too.
Yep.
yeah,
That'll
vendors
go
are not going to buy. They're not going to double sales and extras anymore like they were doing, or buy like 2,000 extras to get it to a higher MOQ. But I think we'll probably get back to like the core community joining like 250 MOQ group buys, like Bub said. Spend a little bit more money, but I think it'll happen again.
Suabi asks, as an artisan maker, I always wonder how a set designer chooses the colors for their sets. What's an easy way to combat wonky color matching from a menu?
Invest
Having a
in
good
your
menu
render.
who can match colors.
I think a lot of it has to do with the theme, right? Like some themes just naturally, like you can just see the colors emerge. Like anything that's based off of an anime girl, right? Like it's pretty easy, right? It's pretty easy. I think like there is a meme that if you want to be a keycap set designer, all you have to do is open up your JPEG and start doing the color picking. That's easy, right? Picking out hex codes is super easy, but what we find to be harder is once you get your hex codes, right? You got to go into your books and you got to figure out, okay, what in this bad boy or in my Pantone books actually matches those hex codes. And it can take a while to actually find a good match. There are a lot of tools online where people will plug in a hex code to try to get the exact Pantone. Again, if you don't have the books in front of you, like it's not a great method for picking colors. But at the end of the day, there's no easy way to combat wonky color matching from a menu because they could just tell you it is what it is.
Yeah, I think we both experienced that, Marsh. Just keep asking for more rounds until they won't let you get more rounds. But if that goes back to choosing good menus, like GMK, they have the word's escaping me. the meter to measure delta E of colors. So if your renders match that chip that you mail to them, they're going to get it pretty darn close.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
pick a bad menu, they might not do that.
It's also can be challenging to get your renders to actually match the chip too if you're not working with somebody with like a lot of experience with it or something like that.
That was I was about to say. It's invest in a good renderman because they have so many sets that are cursed because of the renders are so scuffed. So yeah, try to get the best renderman of your budget.
Yeah. And if you pick one and you feel like it's wrong, like you got definitely say something about it before like sharing them. Just try to get it closer.
That's also why I think with less group buys being spammed, some vendors, not GMK, but some vendors and manuals will help you get samples before group buy. So with Cat Floofy Boy, we already have samples. With WS Perk Boys, I already have samples. That way I can show people a photo and they don't have to trust that some teenager that I paid to render for me matched the colors accurately. So I think that's one good thing about the market dying down a little bit is we will probably see a lot more samples before group buy. And now Novel Keys, they have Fresh in-house, who's an amazing render god.
The goat.
You should, the goat. Everything he renders should be accurate, and then they are changing all their product listings to photos. I think Candy Keys is also posting all extras as photos, which is cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
I also think just on the other side of that, I think because there have been poorly matched sets at this point, I think sometimes people will see a photo of a set for the first time and be like, oh, this looks terrible. And, try to start questioning, oh, did this set turn out badly? And it will be just based on like one photo in someone's basement. So don't judge a set until you actually see how it turned out. Basically.
Yeah, there's even
Colors
some
look
sets.
different. Colors look different in different lights. Like
Yep. Yeah, they do. I even think there's some sets that like didn't match well, and I still think that they turned out well. But then there's definitely some like GMK bread that are just like, oh.
Oh, this last ID set, what was called?
Which one be?
I don't remember the name. The last IDE
Oh,
set.
Nord,
Oh.
GMK Nord.
Nord? Yeah.
Nord, yeah. Nord looks good, but it doesn't look like the renders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like. I don't know. Maybe I'll grow on that one over time. I didn't think.
It doesn't have to. You don't have to grow on it, bub. It's fine. It's okay if you don't like the set. It's okay.
sometimes things are just bad.
It's like I like GMK Necro, and that was like completely different than the renders were. I think that set turned out great.
Yeah. I was pretty bit disappointed with it was the Red Rensuya set. I forgot the
Moomin?
name.
Red Dragon?
No. Red Dragon. Yes,
Name
that one.
any Red Sea.
Red Dragon.
Peaches and cream?
No. Red Dragon. I was pretty bit disappointed about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't want
The
to get
renders
into
are
that.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, that kind of takes us into the color matching section, bub. A question I had was, were there any mismatched key sets besides Necro that you actually liked the final result of better than the renders?
Necro is the only one that immediately comes to mind. There's probably like some ones that are just like more minorly mismatched. I don't know. I like
think
Moomin.
Dracula.
You like Moomin?
I can't think of
I
any.
like Moomin. Yeah, I like Moomin.
Have you
Is
seen it in
Dracula
person?
mismatch?
I think the consensus is that Dracula looks good, but it doesn't necessarily look like the renders.
I
I
thought
think it's
Dracula looked
fine.
close enough. Like, I feel like
Fine.
whenever we talk about color matching, like there are people who need it to like be 100% perfect to the render, but I would hope that most people are generally okay. Like there's kind of like a range of acceptability, I guess.
Yeah,
That's
there's
how I
like
feel.
that
I would agree with
5%.
that.
It's never gonna be perfect. And if it is perfect, you can just take it in different lighting and make it not perfect.
Yeah, that's the thing. Lighting is hard.
Yep. I wish I bought Dracula. I don't have Dracula.
You want
I feel
Dracula?
like
No, probably a
I
6
think it's
million
gonna
round 2
rerun.
extras.
Yeah.
R2
Oh, I guess-
R2 is delivering
Didn't it?
soon, isn't it?
Yeah.
They already reran
Yeah.
it.
That's
I
right.
think they just finished.
They reran it like the
production.
day after it shipped, I thought.
They did. They did. Oh, it's shipping. That's cool. Yeah, we'll get it.
Someone says that Norse also didn't match renders, but I thought Norse was pretty close. Although I haven't seen
thought
Norse in
was good
person.
too.
Norse
I
was
think Norse
Norse
is
was
great.
close enough for
Yeah.
sure.
I like Norse.
I really like Norse. Yeah.
I don't own it. Maybe one day. I gave one to P-Wade at the Novel Keys giveaway.
Oh yeah.
Is he using
I think
it?
the kind of brownie
Probably
gray colored alphas just look really different in different lights.
Yeah. Cyberlic, white on black. Isn't that available right now? Khakis?
Cyrillic Wab?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Noir looks like
Uh,
Wab.
I mean,
No. I think that's one that I would put.
I like apiary and Neflock.
I think that's it turned out.
I think I can agree that Noir looks like Wab, but at least you have novelties. I don't know. Yo, I can't decide if I like Panels Windbreaker or Handbite more.
Handerbait is doo-doo. Handles and Windbreaker are awesome.
I'm really excited to
I
get
love-
extras.
I love Windbreaker. And
I was the
everybody should
5th
buy
person to
extras of
join
it.
Windbreaker group.
I helped. I talked to P-Wade a lot when he was making it. I advocated him to do the same numpad as Pales. And he did. And I like it a lot.
I think we should have kept the kidding from the April Fool's interest check.
I think we also helped bully him into including the gamer WASD and novelties.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
very excited for that.
This is
I
the
didn't get the
Keycap Shadow
novelties.
Council here.
Maybe I should.
You need the whatever enter.
Yeah, you need the whatever enter. Extras are
We were
still
gonna
up.
have P-Wade on stream, but we know all of you would just want to talk to P-Wade, so we kicked him out.
He's so popular.
Look, he's not even here, and we're talking about him.
He's not here.
He was busy. He said he would have loved to come on, but he was busy, so he saved us there. All right. Mod Musings asks, "What's your take on the future of keycap design? What do you think we'll see in the coming years?"
I touched on that a little bit, so I'll just cut off Bub real quick. I just think we're gonna have a lot more low MOQ expensive sets for a while, and you're gonna have to have something really good to get made. I think the core community is still gonna keep buying stuff. It's just you're not gonna get thousands of sales unless you make something really special, like make one.
Stop.
And you'll keep seeing round twos of popular sets, I think, throughout the next 2 years. I think people will keep doing round twos.
It'll be interesting to see what can get in R2 because I just feel like there's so many extras of so many like great sets that it'll be hard to justify doing an R2 for a while.
Yeah, there's still like certain colorways you can't get in stock anywhere, like right now, like green. A lot of green.
Lex Phantom. Round 2.
Phantom round 2. There you go.
You guys see any design trends emerging in like 2023? I feel like last year we saw a lot of purple sets. We saw a lot of purple
Speckles.
Speckles?
Nah.
Speckles.
Speckles.
This is the
I'm
Speckles
part of the problem.
here.
I love Speckles. I want more of that.
WS turquoise.
I have an idea for a speckled set, but I don't know if it will be feasible.
Do you wanna share it?
Yeah, share your idea.
Leak.
It's
You walked into it.
yeah. My bad. My bad.
Yeah, any leaks? Any leaks?
You're
No,
very
it's just an idea. For example, have you seen like this? If I recall correctly, it's like more like an artisan colorway instead of a key set colorway. But I love when this like donut pink base
Oh, donuts.
colorful
Oh.
sparkles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I need that.
Uh,
Or the idea is there if someone can execute,
Damaki Choco Donut.
but
Oh.
better.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh, but better.
I vaguely remember.
Elegant.
I remember someone designing a donut set in KDD. You guys remember
GMK
that?
Orange Boy is secretly a
somebody
Dunkin'
did.
Donut set.
Who
I do remember the donut set. You're
LP.
right.
Was it Ghost?
It was
LP.
LP. It was LP. Yep. I like that set. I like that set a lot because I said that they should do sprinkles.
I don't know what they. Yeah.
Did they
Pink
ever I
base and
see?
colorful sparkles.
Yeah, similar to that. I really would want to do like funfetti, like a white, like or beigey set with like rainbow sprinkles, specks.
Like cool kits, but sparkles.
Yeah, I don't know, something like that. I don't know.
I really want a turquoise keycap set with purple specks on it
And a white accent.
and white accent.
I want to make a really gross set. It looks really bad. Make it intentionally really bad. See how gross I can make it.
GMK panels? You already did that.
JMK panels round 2 with sub legends.
People are really enjoying panels. We need Hiragana panels next.
Here we go.
Panels in Japan.
I think Hangul would look better with panels. I don't know why.
I'm pretty like dead
Uncle would
set
look
on
good.
Space Cadet already. Space Cadet, because then you don't have any sub legends on the blue punctuation keys, which I like.
Yeah.
It was like that was Ella's idea, I think, like a long time ago.
Everyone go buy GMK panels extras right now so that we can get round 2.
It'll be a while.
Are there any keycap design trends that you don't like?
Translucent.
Translucent? Anime.
Anime.
What?
Coco
Anime
is my
sets,
favorite
There's
anime.
some good anime sets, but there's also a lot of anime sets that aren't very special because I don't know who the character is, so I just
Exactly.
don't care.
Yeah.
I don't like
HTV
bad
Girlfriend
kidding.
is the best anime set.
I think more
Bad
people
kidding.
should run simpler kitting, like just base kits, so that their sets run better. Especially like first time people. Instead of like 800 sets.
Any examples of bad kidding come to mind?
No, but just like some, I don't know, like all alphas are really like tough to get across the board like the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. Just make a base kit. Base kit novelties.
Don't make 2 base kits and then get mad when your vendors don't want to run 2 base kits.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That has happened a few times. I think.
Oh wow. It's getting hot.
I think something that I think is tough for any designer, but also for newer designers, is just because you have an idea, or you like a character, or you like a show, does not mean we need a keycap set of it.
Like a Maryland
Yeah.
flag.
Like a Maryland flag.
Oh my god, thank you, anonymous gifter, for the 5 gift subs.
Whoa.
Okay. Right, Bub, I know you have to go at 5, right?
Yeah, I got like an hour. Actually, no, and I'm good. We can keep
Okay.
going.
Let's see. I don't know. I think we've covered just about everything I want before we get into the recent events discussion of the stream. Let's see, is
Drama
there-
Monday.
Drama Sunday. Is there anything else that you guys want to, anything that you guys want to bring up? Anything, I guess, like, see chat. Sorry, the notifications are going off, but I think we've covered just about all the main questions from chat. Is there anything else about, like, keycap design process, any advice you have for new people, anything in general that you want to share before we move on to Drama Sunday?
I'm good.
Stop making beige sets, please.
We need more. We need more beige sets.
We don't need more beige sets.
We need more new beige sets, and not
Yeah, I agree with that.
the
Yes.
same sub legends again.
Yeah.
Beige is the best.
Yeah, fresh.
I'll give them another 5 if Ty shaves his feet. I don't think that's gonna happen.
I ate fresh. I ate fresh.
Okay. All right. Let me change this. Okay. So, Ty, I'm gonna volunteer you to speak up here. But what was it like working with everybody's favorite vendor to discuss these days, Mexico?
Actually, working in Mexico was really good. As a designer, I didn't talk to Chris at all because I didn't really want to talk to a minor about, running Keycap set. So I only ever dealt with Mike. They were responsive. They paid quickly. They shipped everything out. They seemed fine from at the time. I guess it was more behind the scenes naughty dealings going on and people running board group buys that were having big issues. Yeah, so I was pretty surprised when everything came out about them. But yeah, for Judy Girlfriend, they were actually great. They paid me, they paid Milky Way, like everything was fine. But it wasn't.
The unpaid invoices going back to like 2021 and like early 2022 is just like crazy to me. It's a long time for this to have been going on.
It is. I don't know. I'm optimistic that whatever ends up happening, that people are still gonna get their sets in one way or another. I don't know if it's gonna be Mexico. You're not. You're not.
I'm not.
I'm
optimistic either.
It feels like the writing is on the wall. But I mean, we had what is it, Vala, who was also, seemed like they were in a bit of trouble last year. And I've gotten the sense that they've been able to turn things around, or at least they're communicating more.
I feel like they have.
Yeah. So since I ran Fledgling with Vala, I've been like keeping an eye on them, and there was definitely a point like a couple of months ago when I was kind of concerned just because I hadn't gotten a response from Vala in a long time, and it seemed like a lot of customers had not gotten any news or updates in a long time on like anything, but that is no longer the case. I think people are getting stuff that they ordered. They're getting responses to their support tickets. Designers are hearing from them like without any issues now. So it's hopefully they maintain it, I guess. The upward trajectory.
Fresh, what's the news?
I like Val's like business model where lower MRQ, just pump out a ton of sets. You can get a lot of designs done that way. Less risk.
A lot of their sets weren't lower MOQs.
It looks like Mexico is over and they are now looking into bankruptcy. Where was that announced?
I thought that was said a couple days ago. Or like
yeah, I've been told that like last week, but it was like low key. Plus
Announced
Milky Way,
today.
like someone said in the chat, Milky Way have just been selling their sets, which I feel like really sucks for customers. I would be annoyed if I paid for something, it never got paid to the menu, and then the menu like started selling it on their own. But another question I have is, why did Milky Way make those sets that weren't paid for to begin with?
That is super uncommon. I feel like GMK doesn't work that way. SP definitely doesn't.
I feel like possibly if Milky Way had just refused to not keep making sets for them when they weren't paying for sets, like maybe this wouldn't have gone as far as it did.
Is it just Milky Way that's impacted then?
I mean,
there's
GMK.
No, they got
invoices they haven't
too.
paid.
Yeah. Okay, it looks like we have an RMK post from 2 hours ago. I'm sharing it on the screen now. I have not seen this because I was getting ready for this stream. I don't know if you guys have seen it either.
Breaking news.
All right. Hello all. I wanted to provide an update on the Mexico situation. Smaller update than before. Okay, this is coming from Streamline, who originally ran the Core 65XT GB through Mexico. One of the people responsible for uncovering this whole fiasco. Yada 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 yada. Bullet points. Mike was supposed to give an update by Friday. He didn't give an update. Shocker. Mike did update me earlier in the week, noting many chargebacks are beginning to hit. At this point, they cannot afford to ship anything out. Do not buy in-stock items. Oh, for some reason I thought this was like a mod PSA. It's not. There was also a note from Milky Way that the shipment could not be delivered to Mexico because no one was there to receive it. Don't wait to file your chargebacks. Chris is investigating fulfilling the items himself, but I would not hold my breath for this as Chris has not responded to me in months and has not given any concrete updates to anyone else. Sayoshi seems to have left the company, seeking legal representation, suggesting others do the same. And then Streamline has been unsuccessful in securing legal representation for himself.
Oh, the top comments.
Seems bad.
Top comments. I don't know what he says.
Yeah, from Sayoshi. Yeah, they stopped paying me, so I stopped working there. I tried to get them to communicate, but at this point, there's a large debt they owe me as well. One of the most impacted sets is one I designed myself, GMK Terror. Thankfully, GMK is being gracious enough to still make the kits for international vendors and is looking to a potential solution for U.S. customers.
Yeah. I mean, there is. I think it's highly likely this is in the territory where, like, if people didn't get their sets or get refunded, that there's going to be some sort of class action lawsuit this is like super attractive to any lawyer. It's like an easy case. Like,
yeah.
People gave me money, I didn't do what I said I would do. Bam. Like, that's it.
Yeah, I feel like the entire vendor failing is a lot larger scale than just like random guy ran keyboard group by and disappeared. That like 100 people joined. This is like thousands and thousands and thousands of people impacted for probably hundreds of thousands of dollars at this point, if I had to guess.
Yep.
Atlas cables.
Atlas cables.
In the chat.
I mean, like, what's the best case scenario from here, right? Like, U.S. customers aren't just gonna, like, even if Mexico was able to get the order information out to another vendor, there's still the question of who's gonna pay for it, right?
Well, I will say, I think the best case scenario is that they get financial support to close their projects, but who knows if that's gonna happen. I feel like it probably won't if they have been completely in the dark like they have. So.
I mean, I think my biggest question is like, what for the people for like the GMK group buys that Mexico like bought out MOQ or was like the main vendor for, like, how will, like, this is going to impact all those proxy vendors who took money for those sets, and you know, like, how will stuff get made at this point that wasn't paid for?
Yeah, the only way I could think of is they take out a loan and pay it off, or something of that nature. That's what happened at what's the European
My keyboard?
My keyboard. Yeah, isn't that what they did? They took a loan from another business that was owned by the parent company or something like that.
I don't know, but I do. MKEU is another.
Ablo's here.
I hope
Ablo's here.
Get it
Hi,
together.
Ablo.
GMK is committed to producing the sets despite Mexico not having paid their share, so proxies are good for now.
That's really good. I'm glad, like, the proxies aren't going to be affected by this.
But will they be making the US portion of the order, or no? Just the international portions? Because I think the difference between... Because I don't know... Because I was always under the impression that GMK didn't do anything until you paid. Like, I know that the difference between GMK and Milky Way, it seems that Milky Way was kind of just run off of, you know, vibes, a handshake, a little wink, you know, little kiss, and then they would just start making everything. Like, I don't know why so many sets have already been made on behalf of Mexico and have been paid, but I've always felt like GMK was a bit different. I thought they were more strict about that.
Yeah.
Maybe they've just been trying to catch up, that they're just making sets to get through the queue or something. I don't really know.
They likely ordered resin for like the entire order, so they probably already have it stocked up because that's how you do it. So I don't know.
Probably not worth us speculating about, and just I hope
Yeah.
something. I hope something happens for the customers. It really sucks when
Yeah.
a vendor disappears. I literally have
Yeah.
like hundreds of axolotl kits in my office right now because one of my vendors disappeared. Thankfully, after paying for
Mhm.
the sets, so I'm gonna have to try to ship those out myself. So it really sucks if the vendor hasn't paid for anything. I'm gonna cross my fingers that something gets sorted out. Either, like
Mhm.
Bob said, they get some kind of loan. They file for bankruptcy and are able to restructure,
Yeah.
move things around, figure out some way to get people what they deserve. I know some people are having success with chargebacks, depending on your credit card company, depending on your bank. But I know not everyone will.
Yeah, but I only have one set with Mexico and Taiga, and I don't want to charge it back. I want to get my set. I think that's probably how a lot of people feel.
Do we have another topic? Did anyone have any other questions about that? Does you want to talk?
I'm trying to get Hero. You didn't see my GMK sets. You don't see that. You don't see that. I didn't do that. Who did that? All right, we're trying to get Hero up, but Hero is he is napping. I don't know if he wants to
Where's
get
my
up.
dog?
Let's see.
Oh, okay. He's up.
Hero.
He's up. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, usually
See if
chargebacks are only
Hero's
good for like 6
here.
months or sometimes even 60 days, depending on the credit card. But I've charged back something way longer than that, even though it was against the company's policy. So just got to try. How many in our panel has Milky Way too?
Oblo said, as far as I know, they're producing the entire GMK order, but how that gets to customers is a big question mark at this point. Okay, well, I mean, in theory, right, if like Mexico wants to be cooperative, like they can turn over that order information to like another vendor, but whether or not they will do that is
Rory.
questionable. Oh my god, hi Rory.
Hi, Rory.
Hi Rory. Okay. Everybody show
Yeah.
your pets. V, do you have a pet? Bob, I know you have a
Harry's probably sleeping.
Not here. It's in my mom's house.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Okay.
So does that take us to how do you spot a repeatable vendor?
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyone want to take that away?
Yeah, I mean, really just by looking, making sure that they've completed sets in the past and are actively like delivering sets that they've worked on. I think is probably the two big things. Same with keywords. Though I'd say the ones of the vendors that are still around, most are pretty reputable. At least in the States. That's more for the States.
I feel like we're seeing a lot of panic as fallout of the Mexico situation where people are questioning like other vendors, like have they paid for this, have they paid for that, right? And it's a valid concern that I think everyone, you can have that concern. But I think things are starting to get a bit hysterical, and it's just really unfortunate that like it's come out to this.
I would say if that really concerns you, you could just really survive off of extras for the next like 6 months or so until GMK's queue starts working really well as well. Or just go to novel keys or can keys and any of the proxies they work with. I think you're good.
I think. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say that I wasn't even sure if Mexico had any like in stock products, like in stock revenue, because like novel keys, canon keys, right? Like before they even started running a ton of group buys, like they were selling switches, they were selling, accessories, like they had actual revenue coming from products that weren't related to group buys. And I feel like when I'm looking at vendors, if they don't kind of have that mix of like group buy to in stock products to actually generate revenue off of, like to me that's kind of a red flag. Also, like this is kind of a too little, too late thing.
Yeah, looking back, novelties has pretty much ran like one group buy a month. Space Cables was always like one group buy a month. Cannon Keys, 1 or 2 group buys a month. But then for a while, Mexico was running like a bunch of group buys all at once, multiple sets, and then you'd see the sales and they'd sell. I think Hallie posted this on the Keycap page, but they'd sell 200, and then before extras, and then after extras, it'd be like 600 sales, 500 sales. They're buying out a lot of stuff, spending a lot of money on a lot of group buys without any other income other than group buys. Whereas you definitely don't see Novel Keys, Cannon Keys, Mekibo doing that same thing. They're not spamming group buys. They have other revenue streams in stock sets, switches, like you said, supplies. I would be surprised if any other vendor in the US, specifically in the US, because there's a lot of small vendors in random countries all over the world that could disappear tomorrow and I would never even have heard of them. But specifically in the US, I'd be really surprised if another scenario happened like this, where someone just disappeared, so to speak, and didn't try to sort things out the right way. Like P3D just announced that they're closing up shop, but they're still,
Yeah, like a few weeks
but they're
ago.
still trying to make sure everyone gets things that they paid for. Which is a lot
they
different than
haven't
other
just
people.
vanished and shut down their Discord and communicated no updates to anybody. So that's good.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's how businesses fail. Delivering things. I don't know. I'm optimistic that we're like in this like correction phase and that things will like are returning to normal, and then we'll slowly like start to gain traction over years.
I also think just paying attention to how well a vendor communicates like updates with their current and previous projects, pretty consistent with updates like Novel Keys, Cannon Keys. You can always get updates on the status of their different projects. Whereas I think Mexico, one of the things that kicked all of this off were people in their Discord server trying to get updates on projects, on the group buys that they joined, and then not getting updates, and then the Discord server was shut down from there. So
yeah, that really surprised me. I don't know. I've had positive interactions with them.
Mexico, they had the Trello board, right, for their group buy updates.
They weren't updating that, and then they closed it down, and they're like, we're gonna make a what's the alternative that Matrix uses? A Notion page. We're gonna make a Notion page. We're gonna make a Notion page for like 6 months, and there was never a Notion page. Whereas, like you said, Novel Keys, you can go to any set and check the status. Cannon Keys, you can go to any set and check the status. They send out emails every month telling you the status of your group buy. That's another big difference, but that's kind of like before you've ever joined a group buy, you wouldn't know that.
Zuabi asks, what's a good way to combat mass speculation, seeing as it will cause people to mistrust existing vendors? Do we all share a responsibility to police our community in a positive manner?
You can, Imo.
You said, yeah, go ahead. You do it.
Look what happened to SB Bank. So I think that's the biggest example. I know that's a bug, but it's the same thing. It was a speculation thing, and then the market or the customers start speculating even more. So it's like an exponential thing, and you can stop that. So, but you can prevent that. Having like really good communication, transparency in your process, I don't know, having liquidity in your business, etc. So, yeah. But I don't think you can stop that.
Build a time machine and tell Mike not to ghost the Discord and shut it down, and then there would never be mass speculation and hysteria.
yeah.
Do you guys think like so like the day that the Discord was closed down, right? That was actually the first day that I was even in the Discord. Like seeing that happen live was pretty wild. But obviously they had problems with cash flow beforehand, but was there any, like, if they had communicated more, do you think they could have prevented this? Like, do you think it was just like that mass chargeback event from closing down the Discord that, you know, let all the dominoes fall, or was it a perfect storm of things?
That's a good question.
Just knowing that they have unpaid invoices from like 2021 and 2022, I think things must have been going on like longer and worse than people expected at the time. This, I guess, it's not recent.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what it seems to be. So, yeah, I mean, when it's that bad, things would have blown up sooner or later anyway.
I think even if I don't think, this is just my personal opinion, and you might think it's stupid. I don't think Mike was ever maliciously trying to like Ponzi scheme scam everyone. I think he just had a small business, and it got away from him. He didn't make the best decisions. I think he really thought some big GMK sets were going to come out, like Terror Below. He was going to sell the extras and use that money to get himself back above water. And I think it was a perfect storm of GMKQ taking a lot longer than he thought, him not having other streams of revenue, and then poor management of the two board group buys. There was also the Hubble group buy has been stuck in like manufacturing and anodizing for like a million years. And then the two board group buys, I think he was just kicking the can, hoping he could get money from something else to make them work. Jay from Prototypist talked about on stream how it's not that crazy to like have a lot of money tied up in various group buys. You get money, you get profit from one group buy, you put it into the next one. And he's also paying for a warehouse. He had several employees. I'm sure he had to pay himself a salary so he can survive. And I think all that just got away from him. And I think a lot of small businesses are probably one mass chargeback scenario away from the same thing happening, just being completely underwater. That said, I think if he would have just came out and said, you know, something, literally anything, honestly, other than shutting down and ghosting, he probably could have gotten other vendors to help him. He probably could have gotten, I think the mods of RMK offered to help him in some way. I think there was a better scenario than just shutting down and basically asking for chargebacks and not talking to vendors, not talking to designers. Because once those chargebacks start flooding in, like, I think he was really screwed at that point.
It still could happen, being optimistic, but I think as every day that goes by, it gets more challenging, I would think. So.
Yeah.
Curious. I wish we knew what GMK's like thoughts were on it, because
I wonder what GMK Andy thinks about all this going on right now.
Yeah.
Is Andy in the chat right now?
He's probably lurking.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to speak up, and I get it. I get it, GMK Andy.
Yeah, we probably can't. So
All right. Okay. Any final words? I know, what is it? My last question for you guys is, do you guys have any upcoming interest checks or group buys that you want to promote? Just from this group. I know V, you have GMK Phantom R2 coming out soon. Ty, I know you have something. Anything in particular you want me to pull up right now?
Go ahead, V. Plug your stuff. You've been quiet.
Time to advertise.
When is the Phantom IC going to drop? Can you tease us?
It should be the 20th of this month.
Okay.
Oh,
20th?
I'll get it on my calendar.
11 days.
20th of this month. Yeah, in 11 days. Yeah.
11 days. Any particular reason?
Are you ready? Is it done?
It was Ray's decision, so I just follow his instructions. And maybe a little teaser. That's not the only IC I'm dropping this year.
Oh,
very exciting.
Give us a little teaser. Give us a little spoiler.
What's the teaser?
I don't think I can anything to leak
Any leaks
right now.
Any leaks avail?
It's gonna be cute.
It's gonna be cute.
and
It's gonna be cute.
Cute.
cute and gore. Yeah, that's
All right.
Okay.
that's
Gore.
the two
Cute
main.
gore.
Yeah.
Are there skulls?
Someone asked on that note, has GMK ever spoke up aside from getting more machines up soon and getting the queue down? I actually just chit chatted with someone from GMK the other day. They're cranking 3 sets in production. A lot of stuff is just waiting on sorting and shipping. I did learn that they don't manufacture the sets in order because it's like the McDonald's ice cream machine. If someone makes chocolate ice cream and then you try to make vanilla right after, there'll be some chocolate in your vanilla. So they set it up for dark sets and they make a bunch of dark sets, and they set it up for light sets and they make a bunch of light sets. And then they sort and ship, sort, pack, and ship everything separately. And it still looks like they're gonna get everything out by the end of the year. Orange Boy is still slated for September to ship out from them, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it blew
Not accurate.
Not quite. If I can throw in an actually. Okay, Oblo.
I was just baiting Oblo.
Wow. Educate us, Oblo.
Actually.
Well, actually. Okay. All right. Prime. I saw that you wanted us to rate your graphic. Okay. Let's take a look.
Hi, Prime.
All right. So this is that Windy City Key Meet.
Great.
It's going to be in Chicago on July 29th, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at St. Xavier University. I like it. I don't know. I don't have too many thoughts. Colorful.
It's great. I think it's great.
Cute.
Yeah.
I like the switches on the hot dog.
I like hot dogs.
I also.
You a
like
glizzy
hot dogs.
gobbler?
Glizzy goblin.
Glizzy goblin.
What are the toppings?
Yeah,
on
what are the
hot
toppings?
dogs? It looks like a leaf. I'd put a leaf on a hot dog.
What is like the Chicago dog style? That must be what it's trying to do, right?
Chicago hot dogs. I'm looking it up immediately.
Tickets are going fast, so if anyone is in the Chicago area,
Oh, it's a pickle.
better.
I hate pickles.
I love pickles.
I don't like
I'm
pickles,
waiting in
but
bated breath for Oblo to
feels
Yeah,
like a good
drop his
destiny.
knowledge.
Yeah.
I know. Oblo's about to school us. I'm waiting. Zuabi, not to beat a dead horse, but looking at another vendor that shut down what they put on the hot plate, I think the most important thing to learn from these experiences is to be vocal and communicative in the process. We all got into this hobby out of a passion, and while we don't know the motive for most vendors, we can assume it was to make a better space for all, rather than spreading mass hysteria by perpetuating this concept that all vendors are evil. I can agree with that. I think, like, it's just really unfortunate because with Mike not having said literally anything for weeks, the witch hunting just spiraled out of control. And I don't want to say like, oh, we had community members who were acting like in bad faith, right? But like at some point, it's like it is becoming a toxic cesspool. And Mike
Yeah,
had avenues that he could have controlled it, and he didn't. Like
Yeah,
he didn't say anything.
That's one thing that makes me sad about the hobby. I hate to see like witch hunting and stuff like that. This happens sometimes.
Yeah. Like, I really do think if he had come out and said literally anything, like within those
Yep.
first couple of days, like the situation could have been salvageable. But
Figuring it out.
yeah. Okay. Okay. He's schooling us. Okay.
Yeah,
Even
you gotta-
changing from WS1 to WS2 requires the machine to be cleaned out entirely. There's no separation of dark versus light sets. What they do is they run the sets in parallel. So say they have 10 machines, they don't produce one set across 10 machines, but each machine is one set. Because you only change the legends within that set, not the color. So switching between sets on a machine means you only have to clean that one out once, as opposed to cleaning out 10 machines.
That makes sense. It makes sense you'd have to clean it all out because the colors will mix or just like get in the way. Some capacity.
I got a DM from whoever owns the GMK Instagram account. For example, let's see. It's a machine. Sorry, there's a lot going on here. Regarding production slots, just because a set gets produced earlier, it doesn't mean it gets shipped earlier. There's a machine setup thing. Colors react differently on machines, and the machine setup is a huge effort. A set in a dark colorway gets produced, then you have to set it up differently for light colors. Once we set up for dark colors, we produce as many dark sets as possible. For example, Olivia R3 has finished production shortly and is scheduled for delivery in October, but Fright Club is scheduled for September and will hit production next week.
Cool.
Oh my god, I feel like Fright Club just ran
Wait.
too. Really?
Yeah.
It's like this time last year, wasn't it?
Fright to deliver in September.
Yeah, so
I
they
don't
said a
even
dark
know
colorway gets
anymore.
produced and then they
So-
set up the machines for dark colors and produce as many dark sets as possible.
So
So
that means Miklan.
Obo has been to their
Probably still
factory, so I
playing it.
trust him more than
They probably still
more than
clean
me.
them, but
but
there might be levels of cleaning as well. Like you have to clean an X amount between going from a dark set to a dark set, and X amount or Y amount for any set at all.
Shiloh says, as a consumer, it does appear that the industry as a whole may have a cash flow problem with recent sales since July 1st. Daily clack sales were insane and are still ongoing. All major vendors seem to follow suits. Prototype is with the buy two get one, novel keys following suit. Presumably, they are all liquidating and selling at close to their cost to cash out as much GMK inventory as possible, anticipating rough times ahead.
I don't
that's
think
not
that's true.
necessary. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, I don't think that's. I'll take that one. I don't think that's true. I think that there's definitely like a correction that all vendors are feeling because the saturation amount of sets is like going up. But and the sales are more of a reaction to like, oh shit, we bought like 1,000 MOQ on this one set that's not super popular now, and so our way to clear out inventory to make room for new sets is just put on sale. So I don't know.
A vendor could have like infinite cash, but if they don't have any warehouse space, they gotta do something to make room for their stuff because they don't necessarily want to buy lease a second warehouse when the market's in a downturn. So their cash flow might be fine, but they might just need space.
Yeah.
I think
Investment dollars are down. That's for sure.
Yeah. I think what non-keycap designers may not know is that for GMK, right, there are price specs at 250, 500, and 1,000 MOQ, right? And I think what we saw a lot of last year and maybe towards late 2021 is that vendors would pursue a higher MOQ from the beginning. So going for 1,000 instead of 500 or for 500 instead of 250 in order to give you guys, the customers, like the best like sticker price in order for you guys to actually join group buys, right? But the problem is like if you commit in pricing at a certain MOQ and maybe the set doesn't get up to there, right? Vendors had to contribute a lot of money into getting extras to secure that MOQ for you guys. But now I think we're in a state where there are actually so many extras in stock across all vendors. Like consumers have more choice now more than ever, and that's a good thing, but at the cost of vendors having to kind of course correct with like all of these blowout sales and whatnot.
Yeah, it's actually so funny seeing people in r/MK still like complain about group buys and how the artificial scarcity trying to scam people into joining group buys and how nothing's in stock and they have to buy clones when there's just so much available now. GMK, like the name brand, you can get anything.
That I don't know. That subreddit to me is kind of, and it makes me sad because that's how I got into the hobby. That subreddit's a mess. I don't know. That's how I feel.
Pablo says, I do hope that people don't assume every time a vendor has a sale that it means they are in trouble. Can just be space, simply too much inventory, or maybe you just want to generate traffic and visibility of your store. Steam has multiple sales a year, and not because Valve is having money troubles. Vendors will have Black Friday sales because that's what stores do around that time. Yeah, I've had a couple of people reach out to me about the novel key sale. They're like, is NK in trouble? And I'm like, well, I don't think so. Because if novel keys is in trouble, everyone is in trouble. But I think like to Ty's point, it's just inventory space, right? Like there's these products take up a lot of space. Like as you can see behind me, I don't know if I have a lot of GMK sets. I'm not a vendor. This is just my own collection, right? Like this takes up a lot of space. So imagine at the volumes that vendors are doing at multiple sets, like the need for physical space is a real thing. Okay.
NK is also like super invested in trying to get new designs in the door regularly. gotta
They
go.
might just do it out of their goodness of their heart and because they love you guys too.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ron.
Are we all gonna be at Novel Keys meetup? Is everybody sitting on screen right now gonna be at NK meetup?
Not the
I don't think so, but I will try my best.
everyone.
You gotta
We're gonna start a Kickstarter to fly V to Morgantown, West Virginia.
But better ask my boss to to chill down with the work. But yeah,
Give me their email. Give me their email. I'll shoot them an email.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, give him Ty's email.
Yeah, but at least Andro, Bub, Ty, and I will be at Novel Keys meetup. Are you guys going to Cannon Keys?
I cannot.
It's
I am going to Cannon Keys also.
How
Okay.
far is that from Ohio? So, like,
Too far? I don't know. We're gonna fly. We're gonna fly to
fly, yeah.
Boston. Yeah.
But Bub and Andrew, I think you guys are on a panel. I'm gonna plug it. You guys enjoyed today's session. Bub and Andrew will be doing a keycap design panel, as well with Neflock, Yura, and P Wade, who could not be here today. So if any of you guys are going to the Novel Keys meetup, they'll be having their own Q&A panel. Hopefully, they'll have new things to say. Hopefully, they didn't share all of the insights on today's stream. Yeah,
I won't be
this
there to
is
talk
this
over
is just
them.
a teaser for
Ty and I will be in the
future-
crowd. We'll be heckling. Our job is to heckle Ty. Okay. All right. All right. And then I want to do a quick plug for Andrew and Ty's newest keycap set in Intershek, Cat Luffy Boy. I don't know if you guys want to share anything about it in specific. I'll let you guys take it away.
We have samples.
I got them right here.
You want to see them?
I think I showed them before. We have samples already. You can check the interest check page. TP for typo. Yeah, just check out the Keycap page. It's got all the information you should need. Hopefully we're running that soon.
I think the samples look really good. I think that in some of the renders, it's a bit hard to tell how well the white contrasts with the
Yeah,
blue.
I mean, you can.
But it looks pretty good on your screen already. That's acceptable.
Yeah, it's much more readable in person, in my opinion, than how it comes across on screen necessarily.
All right. Okay. Any last questions from chat? Otherwise, I will let all of these good people go back to their Sundays.
Here, I'm gonna share Flower Shop.
Okay. All right.
I don't know how
Yeah.
many people have actually seen it, and it's going live this month. I think is an in-stock sale. It's my next set. Hold on, let me pull up my camera.
If you have a question, just go ahead and type it in chat. We'll see it.
Yeah, here we go. So as my next set, PBT Flower Shop on Novel Keys PBT.
Ooh.
Let me hold on. I got lag.
Any what's the inspiration? Why are the flowers Korean?
Why this white boy making Korean sets? And it's because my my in-laws, my partner, she's from Korea, or from the United States, but her family's from Korea, and they're in a florist, and that's the inspiration.
All right, very nice.
Yeah.
All right. Sunny asks, what are your guys' personal favorite sets, especially ones that they didn't design themselves?
My favorite set is Modern Dolch. Best set of all time.
You do want that set. I don't know. I don't think I could pick just one. I can pick a color if you.
No,
What's your favorite color, Bob?
I thought Bob
like
was gonna. I thought you were gonna say GMK Mudbeam.
Yeah.
GMK Mudbeam is my favorite set. It's the best set that's ever been made ever, and I think you can still get some add-on kits on Novel Keys. Everybody should just buy an add-on kit so you can be part of the legacy. I don't even have it on a board right now. I should do so.
I still really like GMK Olivia, so when Mike said that R3 was done, I was like, great, because I think that's actually the last keycap group buy that I'm in besides EPBT Superstar. I've been running Weeblivia on this board for quite some time as Copium, but I'm excited to have real Olivia coming soon.
I will say, I really like GMK Foundations with the novelties.
Accents. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great set.
Yeah.
I love Ray H. Dalio, greatest
Mhm.
designer
He
besides
both.
Janglad.
I love Smith, who also worked on that set.
V, what's your favorite set?
Yeah.
Don't say Phantom.
White on black.
I am yeah,
Beige.
I am biased. I really like Phantom, and now I have the opportunity to rerun that. But what else? I really like Red City League.
Mhm.
I like Crimson Cadet. I got really excited about hearing that thing will be rerun soon.
Yeah, Crimson Cadet's cool.
Perestroika, Deep Navy. I really like that. Mono sets are really. I love those. So yeah, Masterpiece. Yeah, I like beige, but I have a thing with beige too. So
What's your thing with beige?
there's too many. Stop doing beige sets, please.
We need more beige.
God, another beige set. Exactly what society needed.
I do
Yeah.
love GMK Classic Beige with round 4 or row 4, not round 4. Just normal beige.
The children yearn for beige.
The children
do.
yearn for beige.
Yeah.
Andrew, did you say your favorite set?
I did not. Probably SA Bliss is probably my favorite set.
SA Bliss.
I like SA. I think it's an underrated profile, and I like pink. And the novelties are really cute. And there's Uwu alphas too.
Ooh,
So
alphas are good.
Yeah, it's a great set.
All right.
Sorry,
Last-
that came out.
All right. Last question. Everybody show the keyboards that you're using right now. Hold it up to the camera.
I'm on my waist laptop because I don't have a webcam.
You gotta show your keyboard, Ty.
Show the
All right,
keyboard.
I'll go get a keyboard.
I have panels on down right now. Focus. Now. Look at this clean back. No external weight. Just nice and smooth. Wow.
Okay, we gotta wait for Ty to come back. Okay.
It's my daily driver.
Let's
All
see.
right.
Moto Mist, Cerakoted Aero 75. Pretty cool.
It looks nice.
Cheapest keyboard. I don't have my cheapest keyboard.
My cheapest keyboard is an NK87 entry. And it was on sale, so it was double cheap.
I have the 7-bit, but this is my daily driver,
Ooh.
Is that your profit?
my unicorn.
Ooh, corn.
Ooh.
That's what I meant to say. I said profit.
Yeah.
V's flexing on us so hard right now.
God,
Sorry,
7V's
sorry.
bad.
V is flexing on us so bad.
No, I just changed the 7-bit today, but this is my daily driver. I love this keyboard so much.
Must be nice. Must be nice. Can't relate. Right.
I used a Bakaneko every day for like a year and a half at work, and
It's so good.
now I've moved on from just O-ring now for a period of time.
Okay, we're gonna take one last question from Oblo. V, what board are you gonna put Mictlan on?
I can show that. Give me 1 second.
Is it the Smith and Rune, or is it something else? That's the big question.
I really like 60%. So this is my Mictlan board. It's the Tip
Ooh.
60 Mictlan edition.
Oh,
No, I should have guessed. Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, I love this board. So yeah, this is great. With Mictlan Noche Negra.
60% best layout scientifically confirmed.
That's gonna be soon, isn't it? Like this year?
I hope so.
Basically tomorrow. Basically
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
I hope so. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on to my stream today. I really can't thank you guys enough for participating and just chatting with me on this Sunday. Chat, I hope you guys had a great time. Sorry I couldn't shout you all out, but I appreciated everyone for sticking around. I will see you guys again next Sunday. We're going to be back to keyboard builds. Right? But let's give a round of applause to Andro, Bub, Ty, and V for participating. You guys had a lot of really great insights, and you guys are also a lot more prolific than I am. I almost feel like sometimes I am not cool enough to hang out with you guys because I've only come out with one set. I don't know if I'll ever come out with another one. I might be a one and done. Kind of snuck.
Actually,
One
Blake,
great
the
set.
fewer sets you design, the cooler you are as
Really?
a person.
He only has
It's
one
true.
set, and he's cooler than all of us.
He's dropping 2 ICs this year. So
Yeah, that was happened when you stole a whole culture. So I recommend you.
he's been doing his research. All right. Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you guys so much. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
How do I hang up?